We've got England versus Spain, folks. Who could have predicted that two of the hottest teams in Europe would meet in the final for the 2025 Euro? But hopefully we get ourselves a real treat here, because these two teams have navigated this tournament pretty much as co-favorites, maybe depending on the match day, head-to-head. Maybe they were edging out the other at certain points, but for the most part, a lot of folks have said it's probably going to come down to these two. And here we go. We've got Lionesses versus La Roja. We've got England versus Spain. Let's start a little bit with maybe what either side has to do to get the best of the other, because if they've been navigating this competition as co-favorites, I have to imagine, Jen, that the margins between these two teams are very thin, or practically virtually non-existent. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of this game is it's a World Cup final rerun again, right? And they've played each other as well recently, not as recently as February. I think England beat them 2-1. But look, the margins are so small. England have not performed to their capacity, I don't think, in my opinion, this entire tournament. They got off to a really tricky start against France, but look, we all know Group D was the hardest group. It was group of death, but they still got out of it. And I think that two things, the best things that could have happened to them was losing to France and then coming second, so they were on the other side of the draw. But they've still managed to just get all the way to the final without playing to their full capacity. But I think if England can do anything out of this game to beat Spain, they have to take a leaf out of Germany's book. I thought the way Germany played last night, they were so unlucky not to get the job done. It's going to take a complete defensive, solid game for 90 minutes and just hope that your forward players, when they get on the ball, which is literally what Germany did. I honestly thought they were so unlucky. And it was a moment of masterclass from Bonmati. But on overall, I thought Alexia Putellas was quiet. Bonmati was quiet. Obviously, she popped up when needed to, but it's an awesome final. I can't wait for it. I'm excited to see what you guys think, how it's going to be tactically, but I think it's going to be really tactically similar to what we saw last night with Germany versus Spain in terms of how teams will line up, how teams will play, in terms of how they'll press, how they'll dominate the ball. Really, really similar. I think England just need to do what Germany did. I'm pretty sure Kelley agrees with me on this one. Do similar to how that one went, but just do it better.
Just do it better is kind of a big ask, Beattie. Yeah. I mean, I think we're looking at, my prediction is we're going to have a really tough watch. It's going to be tactically negating, because you have England who are going to try to work that counter. They're going to need to really be master disruptors for Spain, which we've seen other teams do pretty well. But Spain, if you let them just play their style of ball and contain them, and that's, again, a big ask, half of your battle is done. The other is goal scoring. And I feel like we've seen two very different faces to this Lioness squad this tournament all in. They got kind of a cold start, and now we're seeing these weird, play to the end and then magical moments, which I am going to classify them as magical, because if you have to keep calling on Ajamang and Chloe Kelley in the 80th plus minute or 119th minute and things like that, that's a wild strategy, my friend. That's a wild strategy.
Shout out to Dennis Nguyen in the chat, who says that Spain's going to score 4 goals. England will be awarded 6 PKs, and then they will win 5-4. I can't imagine it goes down like that, Kelley. What do you got for England in this one?
No, I don't think they're going to get awarded 6 PKs. I think they got their one gimme PK in that semifinal match against Italy. But I have England at the beginning of this tournament. I chose England to go all the way, and I'm still going to ride with them. I'm going to pull for them in this final purely based on the fact that I want my pick to win. But I do agree with Cupo and Jen and both of what they said. I think it's going to be a chess match, and I think it might be tough. I think that England needs to for sure watch that Germany-Spain game and figure out exactly what Germany did and just say copy and paste. I think that they just have to be better finishing on their counterattack, because I think that's probably going to be their best chance of getting some goals on Spain. But again, you have Ajiman and you have Kelley coming off the bench. To me, the most dynamic duo in the tournament. Kubo, you're like, I can't believe they keep relying on them, but the reality is it's working, and might as well, right? Like if England can go out, and put together a disruptive, disciplined, defensive game, and then wait for their moments to take advantage of this Spain team, because Spain is susceptible on the counter and defensively, they got a chance, man. So I'm going with England.
I don't disagree, Kelley. I just think that, like, for me, my personal risk appetite, that gets nervy for me toward the end if you're saving it, because you're banking a lot. Yeah, like, I am more of a get in early, score the goal, not necessarily lock it down, but, like, get yourself a little bit more comfortable where it's not 0-0, and you're looking down the pipe at penalties, which have been historically atrocious this Euros. We have 17 combined in match and then also shootout misses. I don't want to go down that road again, especially not in a Euros final.
Okay, but Cuba, were you nervous watching Germany last night in that same respect? Because I felt secure watching them, thinking they're solid.
You know what? I think it's situational. That's a good point, Beattie. I think that they looked like they were starting to sit in more comfortably. And so for me, that garnered a little bit more trust, where I was like, okay, that might be their game. But when you're looking at the other side of the coin and you expect a more dominant, organized England squad, I think my expectation of them is higher. They shouldn't have to be sitting it out. Essentially, yes. Is it a sometimes paint drying chess match? Sure. But I feel like, given the talent that they have, that shouldn't have to be the strategy. It should be a lever you can pull. And I feel like this tournament, we've seen them repeatedly do that. And if that's how Sarina needs to see matches out, I question a little bit of her managerial guys at this point.
I think she's sticking to her guns. You know, I'm able to hear
listen,
what Wiegman had to say.
If you're going to do it, go in, go out, right? But I feel like, show that you can be a little bit nimble. Show that this squad have teeth. You know they do.
I think that she's leaning into it a little bit. I think Wiegman's leaning into it a little bit. Got to hear what she had to say post game in that semifinal. I mean, she even used the word like relief, like she's a human, just like her players are. That it was a tough match, and said like, yeah, like relief is one of the things that I absolutely feel right now. And she's aware of like maybe some of the criticism that's come her way about the late game subs, or maybe how they could be viewed as like lack of adjustment. But she said we sub to win, and I thought that was pretty like bold. And I think if that is part of their game plan, it had, like, to Kelley's point, it's working right now, you know. And of course, like I said, coach, like she re-emphasized the fact that like it's about everybody kind of understanding their role, and that's their responsibility as the coaching staff to make sure that the players understand those roles, you know, going in. But I am curious about, because both of these teams now are going into this final off of extra time. So there's that layer to it as well. Like there's maybe not going to be that sort of thing like, oh, there's an advantage of fatigue here. Like both of them are coming in on really intense kind of games that needed extra time to determine a winner. And I think if you're England, there's other things within that maybe we're going to keep an eye on as well. Like Wiegman during this press conference also confirmed that halftime substitution for Beth Mead to come on in was because of Lauren James's ankle issue, that it was an injury related sub. They went ahead and noted it and said, we have to make a change. Let's go ahead and do this. So there will be some question marks, you know, around that for England. Is there an advantage for a team here as far as like they both went on extra time here? Someone's going to feel worse one way or the other. Is that something that is one of those levels that like makes things even for a team like this, Cupo?
I mean, you're going into this to win it. Like, I don't think that anybody has any intention otherwise. I just think it's an interesting dynamic how we've come into this tournament. And there were conversations about at least 7 England players having just returned to fitness or questionably fit, making this deep run. I think that this is absolutely, including Germany, is a tournament that's displayed resounding amounts of resilience, that you've seen these squads haven't wavered. That includes Spain. That includes with Katakoy coming into this tournament, not being able to play with strep throat, with Bonmati overcoming bacterial meningitis, which honestly is absolutely insane. That's not like a little tiny thing. Bacterial meningitis lingers in the form of fatigue and muscle soreness in ways that she shouldn't even be able to play at this elite stage at this point. So we're kind of defying logic, physics, and a lot of things at this juncture. I think that, yeah, we're going to get a lot of weathered bodies. I'm wondering if some of the injuries, like an LJ, who has quite frankly overperformed expectations, with her being a massive question mark coming into Euros, is that going to change Wiegman's plans, right? Does that change some of her substitution plans? Does that change? Because I feel like we haven't seen yet the best out of some of that England squad, like Kira Walsh and some of those other players that have kind of gone quiet, or not necessarily gone quiet, but that other squads know to fear enough to keep them quiet.
I'm curious how
Spain,
that shift will work. I think it's important that you're kind of noting like positional areas on the pitch, because like when I'm even based on these semifinals, where I think we are all like in agreement that like Putellas maybe had a quieter semifinal, but ultimately that doesn't matter because there's a Bonmati and a Patri who had an incredible game in mid for Spain versus England, where they have been struggling a little bit in that area. Jen, for you, is there a particular positional area on this pitch that you are looking for this game to kind of play out and be the difference maker?
Yeah, I mean, I think you named it there. The midfield for me, I think, again, I'll look at Germany just because it's fresh in my head from watching it last night. But I thought Sensa, Menga stepping into the midfield and adding that little extra layer of protection in front of the back line, they matched their midfield. To say that a midfield can keep two Ballon d'Or winners quiet in a semi-final of a Euro, like that says a lot for Germany's midfield. They completely won the physical battle. And if I can look at Stanley, Toon, Walsh, you know, you're up against top quality, and they're more, you talk about them from more a technical standpoint, not really a physical, but that's what they need to match in order for this game to play out. And then of course you'll look at the left side of their defense, right? Alex Greenwood moved out on that side, Esme Morgan's come in. Will Wiegman move towards that? Because we all know that the wingers, Caldente, on whether she's played outside winger or moving more central, or Vicky Lopez, whoever comes into the game, just have so much quality. And I think most teams have looked at that side for England and kind of realized, okay, they're not natural left backs, and can we utilize that to our strength? So, but midfield for me will always be a key matchup, because that's where Spain love to create the overloads. You have to be so aware of who's coming central, what the rotations are. So center of the pitch, that's what Germany have done so well. They kept everything wide. They let the centre backs have the ball. They let it in the wide areas, and they shifted across really quick. Whenever anything came central, they were ready to go be physical, force them backwards. They didn't let them creep further and further forward. They didn't allow the rotations to move them out of position. So it's those matchups for me which will be a massive final for England and Spain.
Yeah, Kelley.
Sandra, I got something. So at looking at how these two teams line up based on what they lined, England lined up in the semifinal, Spain in their semifinal. I'm really interested, and I think if Spain is smart, they're going to attack England's right side. And that's not because Lucy Bronze isn't fantastic or Leah Williamson isn't fantastic. They're both fantastic players. Leah Williamson is potentially on a bad ankle. Lucy Bronze taping up her quad in the quarterfinal and loves to fly forward. So if I'm Spain, I'm going up their right side. I'm having Putellas just hang out right in front of Bronze and Williamson. Esther's running either offside, backside shoulder off of Williamson, or making these cheeky little breaking runs, breaking lines in behind. And Carmona, Peanut, shifts inside. Carmona comes on the outside. To me, if they can take advantage of the right side, and in a question mark around, is Lauren James starting? Is she not? Are we going to see Beth Mead? Lauren James, I wouldn't say loves to get back and defend as much. So if I'm Spain, I'm going up their right side, and I'm shifting, and I'm trying to find that numerical overload on that side and take advantage of some of the question marks that I think England has on that side based on injury, based on loading. So yeah, I'm interested to see that little chess match on that side.
Yeah, for sure. I am curious if like maybe some of the arguments around England and their like high dramatic finishes has been about the fact that it's like this is because of these slow starts maybe that they're having. And I do wonder if maybe those slow starts can work to Spain's benefit, a team that likes to have possession, a team that just wants to kind of like maybe pass around or pass through. Like we'll see how it goes. So I like that you're already kind of like locking in on some of those opportunities for Spain, but you've got England in this one. So like if they are England, is it about just trying to negate as much as possible in that middle third? Does Bronze have to be more of like a supporting role to her midfielders in this one, you think?
Yeah, I mean, she's got to, again, Lucy Bronze is one of the best outside backs in the world, and she's got to pick and choose her times to go. She scored a goal in it was the Sweden game, right? The quarterfinal game. So it's like she gets forward, she gets into the opposition's box a lot, but for her in this game, I think, again, they have to take a page out of Germany's book, and Germany was very disciplined in their 4-5-1 when they when Spain had clear control of the ball. They let them have that control. They didn't let them come centrally. They made them go on the outside. They pushed their 7 and 11 a little high out of the 5 of that midfield defensively. So I think for Lucy Bronze, she's just got to pick and choose. She's got to be smart, and she knows how to do that, and I have no doubt that she will. So.
Right on. All right. Well, it wouldn't be attacking third if we didn't, make a prediction and have fun with it. And I don't know. I think I want to like remix this one a little bit. Usually we'll just go with like a team and a score line. This time, maybe just give me like the team that you think is going to take this and like the player that's going to have the most impactful game for her squad. So maybe it's like I'm going to give you guys time to think. So I'll go ahead and put myself on blast and go first. I feel like a lot of
there you go, Sandra.
I feel like a lot of folks are riding high on England right now. I'm a free agent in this one, so I was very much just listening to everyone's case here, amongst my co-hosts, because unfortunately I had Germany as my sleeper pick to go ahead and win this whole thing. They are out, so I'm open to whoever. I gotta say, with some of the things that I'm hearing on this one, it's giving more England for me, but there's something about this Spain side I think that they're doing very, very special. I think we can all agree England has that dog in them right now, but Spain has had to kind of slay some dragons along the way too. And one of them was a German side, a national team in their history that they have not beaten. And they now have that under their belt as well. And I think they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. It's almost like they want this Euro title in a way that was different from the World Cup. It sort of felt like that World Cup win almost came out of spite or in spite of the things that were happening, alongside with the coaching staff. And this one, it just is an opportunity for them to just go out there and perform and be the team that they want to be. So I'm going to go with Spain in this one. And I think that this absolutely has to be the game that Alexia Putellas makes a statement, because you cannot have a semifinal where you were that quiet or near invincible and then have the opportunity to go into this final and not back that up. And she said to start off this tournament, she doesn't care about a Ballon d'Or. She wants to win this Euro. So I need Spain to take it, and I need Putellas to have a big game. Who wants to follow up?
I mean, fine. I think despite some of my rooting interests, and not because I'm still mad about Italy, but I'm going to go Spain. Only because this is one of the last trophies they haven't won. And so I feel like eyes on the prize now. They're going to lock it in. I think that they've had some lessons this tournament. And I think that, it's not impossible for England to do, but I think we will get a long, drawn out affair. I think that as long as Spain can manage not to get fatigued beyond, I'd say, like the 35th minute, because we start to see them slow down a little bit and then kind of try to kick themselves in the butt to keep going. I think they could manage to see this out.
All right, we got 2 for Spain. Kelley, are you the combo breaker still?
I'm going with who I chose from the beginning. I'm loyal, baby. Let's go. England's winning 2-1. Esther's getting a goal. She's winning Golden Boot of this tournament. She's also winning Golden Boot in NWSL for Gotham, but we'll see more of that later in the season. But we're going to have an Alessio Russo goal. We're going to have a Michelle Agiman goal, because I think that Russo was very quiet in the semifinals, and I would like to see her score in the final, turn up a little bit, and then obviously get the cheat code off the bench, plug her in there, let her do what she does. And I think we're going to go 2-1, and it's going to be a late goal from England.
All right, take us home, Jen. Who you got?
I'm going England again, guys. I'm going to go for a tight, obviously low-scoring goal. It's going to be a Kira Walsh assist for me with a Lauren Hemp 1-0 game, I think.
Nice.
I think Kira Walsh is going to be so key with finding those counter-attacking passes. She's got the vision to do it. seen it so many times. And even from a defensive perspective, she's going to be so key, covering the channels, making sure centre backs can stay central. 1-0 England.
All right. Well, the true combo breaker is the chat, because of course we ran a poll as soon as I threw it out there to y'all. And believe it or not, the people believe that Spain are going to take this one, not by a landslide, but a pretty good chunk. 65% of our pollsters say that Spain is going to take this one, compared to 34% in England. But we're split in terms of the panelists. So, we'll be right back here to talk about the winner and who was right, who was wrong, all that and more. Make sure you tap back into that on Sunday.